Ladies and gentlemen, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. In this special season, hope everything goes well with you and your family. Please follow the policy, your local policy, and stay home and take care. Welcome to Sungrow webinar for MENA region. This is Ethan speaking. I'm taking charge of channel business for Solar MENA. Today, we are going to have an understanding about Sungrow monitoring system for your commercial and residential solar plant business. I think most of you are very familiar with our team. Last time, share you some information about our serious product and residential product. Today, I will introduce you our newcomer, Mr. Johnny. He is from the same department, Sungrow Commercial Solution Department. And he will show you our presentation first. Okay, Johnny, please welcome.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning to all of you. Welcome to Sungrow webinar for Middle East and Africa. This is Johnny speaking, Sungrow Solution Engineer. Today, we are going to have an understanding about Sungrow and our monitoring system solution for commercial and residential solar plant business. Here is the presentation. Let's go. First of all, I'd like to make a short introduction of ourselves. This is our team dedicated for MENA distribution market. Ethan Shi as Sungrow account manager responsible for business contact. Montamon for the marketing support, helping you with social media and marketing proposals. Sheldon and me come from solution department, solving technical problems for commercial and residential respectively. Next is about Sungrow's history. I have been asked by customers from all around the world about Sungrow since the day I joined this great company. Here it comes. Sungrow was founded by University Professor Cao Renxian in 1997. Nowadays, after 23 years development, Sungrow has been rated by Bloomberg NEF as the world's most bankable inverter brand. This slide shows a great moment during Sungrow's history. A beautiful dream started in 1997. Sungrow was founded and determined to make the global environment better and supply clean power for all. 2006, Sungrow product was delivered outside of China, such as Japan, UK, Netherlands for the first time, expanding the global market at large. 2011, Sungrow was listed successfully in Chinese stock exchange. It benefited us a lot for the investment besides reputation. 2015, Sungrow secured the global #1 in market share around 15% for the first time, and the ranking remained till now. 2018, the Indian factory located Bangalore was launched. It's the first factory outside of China with annual capacity of 3 gigawatts. 2019, the world's largest inverter factory was put in operation by Sungrow in China. Sungrow is focused on new energy equipment and system solution for solar energy, wind energy, and energy storage and EV controller. First and the biggest business is our PV inverter, foundation underlying all of our effort to build Sungrow. Moreover, we can offer energy storage system, both conversion unit and batteries, floating system on surface of lakes and seas for overseas customers. For the rest, like project development, EV controller and wind converter are popular in China domestic market so far. All of the business serve for the one continued mission, clean power for all. According to the latest statistics, Sungrow generates about 129 billion kilowatt-hours of clean energy and offsets 103 million tons of carbon dioxide per year. This largely helps all the creatures on this planet, and contribution to the environment protection will never be stopped. Sungrow devotes itself to social responsibilities as a way to demonstrate our commitment to global market. For instance, we open the technical course and trainings in college to inspire the undergraduates to know more about the solar industry, and some of them could join us in the future. We also invest the future by building the bookstores for underprivileged children, donating PV plants for rural primary school, offering scholarships at universities. Next topic, I'm going to tell you why choose Sungrow. Sungrow keeps a sustainable development in the past decade. The compound annual growth rate of the revenue during 2010 to 2018 is 44%. The PV inverter shipment for last year hits 17.1 gigawatts, including 8.1 gigawatts for China and 9 gigawatts for international market. First time for overseas business coming from behind. By the end of 2019, the global cumulative installation existed 100 gigawatts, first one of the world. The performance is somehow the result of Sungrow continuous investment on innovation. As per the annual report, Sungrow invested 73 million United States dollars in R&D in 2018, and over 40% of personnel are sent for R&D team. In other words, we have the largest R&D team in the world. We have over 2,000 patent applications cumulatively, and we are the leader of patent applications. Core technology drive permanent power of Sungrow. We will keep continued investment in technical innovation. Sungrow launched manufacturing based in China and India to meet the global booming demand. In March of 2019, the world's largest inverter factory is ready to go. Furthermore, the global production capacity surpassed 50 gigawatts per year. Specifically speaking, the production capacity of China factory will be 47 gigawatts per year. Indian factory processes capacity of 3 gigawatts per year. Besides, for storage segment, the production capacity of lithium battery is 6 gigawatt-hour per year. The manufacturing base is getting more and more digital and intelligent, which will largely increase the production efficiency. With the effort of dedicated Sungrow staff, our product was installed in over 60 countries, with over 20 subsidiaries and 50 service outlets. Sungrow is willing to reach out to you immediately when you are in demand. We provide 24-hour, 7-day service, and the local warehouse perfectly address your different issues. Sungrow has a world-class testing center. This is to make sure every product passes rigorous inspections. The testing center is satisfied by TÜV-Rheinland, TÜV-SÜD, CSA, UL, etc. In 2016, Sungrow launched the industry-leading 10-meter echo chamber. This chamber is able to test the electromagnetic characteristics, radiation resistance encoding with CE certified of inverter from residential up to 5 megawatt big containers, biggest in the world again. Here comes various types of testing for safety and the environment, such as IP level for both waterproof and dustproof capability, variation testing for shipping, high temperature and salt misting chamber testing, string motor producing for PCB assembling, advertised and then embedded inside the inverter case. After this, the inverter will be sent into burn-in test for 4 hours. At end, industry robots will take over the auto packaging work. Sungrow has been cooperating with world Tier 1 component suppliers to ensure the equivalence of quality and the economy. For example, inverter module come from German Infineon. DSP as the inverter CPU is from Texas Instruments. Sensor comes from Switzerland. Compared with the other inverter brands, Sungrow offers competitive price in the condition of warranty level. In detail, Sungrow offers 5 years warranty for free and up to 25 years extension optional. The third part, we will have an overview of Sungrow monitoring solution. This slide shows a typical residential monitoring system. As you can see, the communication between the inverter and the internet is totally wireless. The data between them is transferred via Wi-Fi signal, with only a small dongle which has a plug-and-play design, and the dongle both support local and remote management with iSolarCloud. With the using of iSolarCloud web and app, user can easily check the real-time yield and fault information, or set some parameters of the plant. And this is a typical commercial and industry monitoring system. In this case, there will be more inverters than residential. The communication mode between the inverter and router is also wireless. But in this case, we can use IM4 dongle, which is able to manage up to 10 inverters, 1 master inverter, and the rest are slave inverters with RS485 daisy chain connection. IM4 also has a built-in web server. It's just like the setting interface of a home router. In this website, user can monitor the state of all the inverter along this daisy chain. And it also has a QR code pasted on the front side. The user can easily access the iSolarCloud by scanning this QR code. Here, regarding to the even bigger, larger size of plant, we can use COM100 smart box to take charge of the monitoring. This smart box can support up to
So Johnny, your voice has struck from the last slide.
provide an innovation solution where the power generated by the inverter is only used for self-consumption. To carry out this function, a meter is necessary. It is used to monitor the consumption schedule and to relay this data to COM100 box, calculate the prevailing consumption and the current power generated of the plant, then control the activity power of the inverter, and ensure the POI meter data is near to 0. Meter as an auxiliary over a self-consumption function, Geneza UMG 604 and with Miller 610 has been integrated into Sungrow self-consumption system as an option part. Here are the comparison of the two types of meter. As you can see in this table, in total, Geneza has a shorter response time and a bigger voltage range. With Miller is smaller, lighter, and cheaper. Generally speaking, if the customer needs a very short response time, or let's say their local standards and grade company don't have a very strict requirement, we recommend Wade-Miller. If not, we should recommend Genida. The response time is within 2 seconds for whole process. This slide shows the general setting steps of zero export, which is very easy to operate. First, connect the VLAN network named SG-XXX. XXX means the serial number of the device, which is on the front of the logger. Second, log the web server in the browser. Type in 11.11.11.1 in the address bar, and then select the activate power. Set the corresponding parameters, then the configuration is done, and the power flow chart will be shown on the main page of iSolarCloud. This part is the introduction of Sungrow monitoring products. This is a monitoring family. Wi-Fi and IM4 take a single and multi-wireless dongle, smart communication box called COM100 as a data logger, and the iSolarCloud as online monitoring system. This slide shows the configuration for monitoring hardware. Wi-Fi dongle connect one inverter, mainly for residential application. One IM4 dongle support up to 10 inverters, and between those inverters, daisy chain connection where RS485 is recommended. Not mention it has built-in web server for management, firmware updating, and other functions. With respect to COM100, it could connect more devices up to 30. Like third-party meters, weather station, and environment sensors, those two is suggested for commercial market. Here is the detail for Wi-Fi dongle. It has a plug-and-play design. No screws or other spare parts are needed, saving time for installers. With the IP65 design, it has a high safety class and reliability, and is very easy to accomplish the configuration. Next is IM4 dongle. It has almost the same design as the Wi-Fi dongle, but one IM4 dongle can manage at most 10 inverters with RS485 daisy chain. It has a built-in web server easily for user to check the information or set the parameters of the inverter. Here is the COM100 smart box. It's often used in big power plants. COM100 supports various kinds of communication, such as RS485, Ethernet, and Wi-Fi. It can manage up to 30 devices, include not only inverters, but also third-party devices. And it can automatically recognize the device which are connected with it. What's more, thanks to the thoughtful design, when performing some wiring connection or maintenance, we can clearly see the situation inside the box, even in the dark corner, and is reliable with robust enclosure and easy to install for its lightweight. Here is a screenshot of iSolarCloud app. Install the app from the App Store.
Mr. Johnny, sorry for interruption. There are some messages coming that you may need to speak little louder and closer to the mic. They're not able to hear you.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. Excellent.
So you can install the iSolarCloud app from the App Store or Google Store. Then register with your own email. You can find some sample plans in it. By creating your own plant, you can monitor all information at any moment. Furthermore, iSolarCloud could export plant analysis, ordination KPI management, and plant sharing. Those are main functions for iSolarCloud app. User can check running information of the inverter and other devices. And if a fault occurs, the detail and troubleshooting will be shown in the app. And of course, user can modify their personal information anytime on the More page. Those two pictures are the remote and local parameter setting interface. Both of these two ways can offer various kind of information for setting, including running information, protection information, and communication information. The app also supports plant sharing function. That means the same plant can support several persons to manage the plant together. The setting process are also easy to operate, just like what are shown in the screen. You can type the share in the first picture, then adding sharing. Finally, you can select the details such as the person you want to share with. And you can choose either this person can just check the information or have the full right to manage the plant. What's more, user can also use this app to upgrade the firmware. And the setting process is just a few simple steps in the app without any extra wire connection or data storage devices, such as USB flash drive. It's totally wireless. Only need your cell phone. As the old saying goes, a picture is worth 1,000 of words. So why not you take out your smartphone and have a try? You can scan this QR code in the screen and follow the pictures to enjoy this experience. If you get any trouble using it, please type your question in the chatting area. My colleague will help you. Here is a page of iSolarCloud website. You can log by your laptop and check the information. I will show you more details below. This is the main function for iSolarCloud. It will alert all abnormals of each plant and advise suggestions. Next is historical yield compression, help you to acquire details performance. Each photo of the inverter will be shown and recorded. To precisely position and analyze, click the fault, you could find details and O&M advice. We can have an overview of our added-on feature, IV curve scan. It's able to find out shielding, dusting, errors like short circuit of the PV models, diagnose string and output graphical reports with suggestions, just one button start. And it's also easy to operate via iSolarCloud. This slide is our fault plant function. If the maintenance engineer needs to know more about the certain kind of faults once it happened, you can use this function. This requirement can be easily realized. You can either select plans, fault types, and the remind person. As long as there is a selected fault happened, this person will receive an email sent by the iSolarCloud system. Here are some examples of third-party devices supported. As you can see, Sungrow monitoring solution is compatible with a wide variety of third-party devices, including meters, sensors, and other kinds of devices. Last, I'd like to share some references worldwide with you. Here is a 4.2 kilowatt residential solar plant located in Brazil. Inverter is SG4K-D and using Wi-Fi dongle to realize the monitoring function. Here is a commercial solar plant located in China. This power plant includes 12 pieces of SG110CX inverter. A COM100 smart box is applied as a monitoring device. Here is a commercial solar plant located in Thailand. The capacity of this project is 923 kilowatts, and the metal station is connected to the COM100 monitoring box and to monitoring the real-time information of the local weather. Okay, here is all my presentation, and thank all of you for your time. Please feel free to raise your question as you want to know. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tony. I think maybe some of you have any questions, about monitoring system. Our next section.
Ethan, we can't hear you, please. Ethan, we can't hear you.
Okay, our next speaker, I'd like to introduce you a very important guest, our old friend, the founder and MD of Mr. Verma, LK Verma. Okay, Mr. Verma, please.
Thanks. Thank you, Ethan. Thanks, Mr. Johnny. I would like to welcome once again to all the guests who have joined and who are actually present over here in this webinar. This is our in a series of last 2 months. This is the fourth webinar from Sungrow, where we have been talking about the various products and the solutions. Are you able to see my screen?
Yes, we can.
Yes.
Thanks. Thank you. Let me just give me a minute. Let me make it a little larger so that it's visible. Yeah. So this is, as I said, this is the fourth in a series where we spoke about C&I sector. We spoke about the inverters. We spoke about various actually solutions, the various aspects of the inverters, and now we are talking about monitoring and control systems. We all know that monitoring and control systems, it is being provided by majority of the inverter suppliers. Still, there are companies who provide the external, products. One point which I would like to emphasize out of the entire presentation is that Sungrow has a very comprehensive solution, including the weather stations. So you can not only monitor remotely, you can not only have the complete monitoring system, but you can also have a weather station advanced and the standard versions connected to it, and the entire system can say provide you all the required information at a much lower and cost-effective prices. Thanks once again, Sungrow, for all your time and for the attendance. I will take around 10 minutes time discussing about Solar Simplified. Solar Simplified is a terminology which has been coined by Power and Sun in the Middle East region, and it's very simple. The idea of this entire Solar Simplified is making the solar installations up to 2, 3, 4, 5 megawatt in a very simple and effective way. When I say simple and effective way, means it should be as simple as buying the grocery from any supermarket and then putting it back into your different shelves. So the attempt and the thinking behind is making it simple, so that in a year, if we are able to put say 20 megawatt or say 30 megawatt as an EPC, instead of that, if we are able to take it up to say, for example, at least 30 or 40% higher installations. So the basic idea, as I said, is a project, to reduce the project turnaround time by not compromising on the cost and on the quality as well. Power and Sun is a design and distribution company. We have shipped in the last 2.5, 3 years time in the Middle East. We have shipped around 300 megawatt in this region. Around 35 countries we have a footprint. 4 global offices, more than 7 years of experience in this line. Best price guaranteed. When I say the best price guaranteed, I mean it, because the principles what we use makes us to become the most competitive in the marketplace. Largest PV supplier by and large at any point of time. Even if you want a 20 megawatt inverters tomorrow to be supplied to one site, probably the only company which can be able to do it is actually Power and Sun. One-stop solar solutions. When we say one-stop solar solutions, is inverters, PV modules, cables, connectors, combiner boxes, structures, monitoring systems, so all wrapped up under a one place. So when the buying system is concerned, it will be a one single invoice. It can be a one delivery or maybe a 2 or 3 deliveries, not 12 to 13 different deliveries. It can be a one payment system. It can be a one negotiation. So this is the advantage of one-stop shop. Demand aggregators. This is we are basically able to map the demand from the market, aggregate those demand, draw the projections, create estimates, go to the suppliers, give them a plan on an annual basis, and thereby we get that's how it helps us into the pricing. EPPM company, engineering and project management, is also a support apart from the supplies, which can be extended based on the requirements. Solar Simplified, we will discuss it a little bit more as we proceed further. 360-degree solutions is nothing but you talk about off-grid, hybrid, zero export, on-grid, any solutions where the solar is raised, can be used, where the power can be generated. We are in a position to design that system and then supply it. We got a very innovative ways, like Portakabin solarization, standard kits for marine industry. So this type of, wherever there is a possibility, the design and the supplies can take place. Buy online, probably again the only company which is promoting online sales for the residential sectors, especially inverters, PV modules. You can buy a component, you can buy the complete combo packs. By and large, in a C&I sector, we are known as a solar supply chain managers. Means we take the BOQs or we create a BOQ and supply the complete BOQ to the customer. Solar Simplified, as I said, it's basically the 70% of time and energy of any solar project is actually connected with the materials. And when we speak about materials, means making the order to the suppliers, or before that identifying the various suppliers and having the product reach to the DDP side. So we come into a picture right from identifying a selection of the components to the component getting supplied to the DDP on the site. So this on an average varies from project to project, but 70% of time, 70% of energy, and 70% of cost is actually spent, in a true sense, is spent on handling the only materials. And this is where you need a specialized skills to handle this type of situations. How do we do this? We align the demand chain. I mean, each one of these lines which I have written it, which you are seeing it on your screen, can take at least 10 or 15 minutes, in terms of their explanation. But in a very bulleted form or in a very simple way, there's an alignment of a solar demand chain is required to optimize the complete, holistic or a complete system, and we focus there on that alignment. we bring the visibility. When the visibility is there in a supply chain, automatically 20 to 30% of the supplying issues or the supply chain issues are actually sorted out, or they are killed then and there itself, because visibility brings the transparency, and then when the transparency you have so many other things coming up after that, which supports overall system. Increasing availability, this is a very important aspect. See, why are we going for a solar? We are going for a solar for two reasons. One is we are talking it about green, but then more important reason than being green is that there is a cost saving in it. Now, if you delay the decision of getting the power from the sun, that saving which was supposed to happen has also been delayed. So very few industry experts, they actually focus that if we can reduce the project turnaround time, if the solar project is going to be installed or commissioned in a 6 months time, can that be commissioned in a 4 months time? Can that be commissioned in a 3 months time? And this, because the 70% of our time, as I said, is only happening in making the materials available to the site. So this 70% plays a very important role, and this is where, for this region only, there's when we apply the practices and principles of supply chain, you will understand that inventory deployment is a very important aspect. So we deploy inventory even in transits. We deploy inventory in at the manufacturing locations. We deploy inventories at our warehouse in Jebel Ali. So there are various ways. If the time required to mobilize a project itself reduces the half when you have all the other aspects being handled and managed properly. Integrated project supplies, as I said, this is required for optimization also, because which inverter is best suited for or which structure is best suited for this application. Understanding a system as a whole along with its component and thereby doing a cost saving is a much better way than the localized or the independent cost saving on the products. Reducing prices, which comes from the integrated project supply, and assuring agility. Now, the assuring agility is extremely important, because if you are agile, if your partners who are supplying to you, they are agile, your life is much better. Believe me, as a project manager or project engineer's life is much better. But if this agility, like say for in the COVID, in the February, March, suddenly things changed. We all got stuck up at the ports. The many projects aren't going to be reviewed, they are delayed. So if the supply chain is not managed with the required agility, we all will get stuck. This is another way of representing it, what I'm speaking, and I have again to simplify the entire system, I'm taking only the C&I sector and the rooftop business in a C&I sector. The key supply chain members in this sector and in this industry, if you talk about, is manufacturers, consultants, integrators, and each one of those people, they drive something in a solarization process. So manufacturers, they are driving the technologies. Consultants, they are technology engineers, which actually makes it run. Integrators are drivers of basically efficiencies in the cost. So each one has his own role in this entire system. Now, the entire solar project, if we see, we have policies, applications, brands, costs. Suppose as an end user, you wanted to have your rooftop, you wanted to go for a solarization, or as an APC, you go to the end user and then you speak about. So entire process can be controlled or can be managed better if we are able to handle the time, cost, and the quality dimension of the solar projects. In this entire thing, the irony is that we focus on everything else, but the key element which takes the 70% of our time, there are very few companies or there are very few people who are actually focused, or they are looking at that aspect itself. So our direction or our intent is to work in these dimensions and to see that how we can bring the value added support to our clients. I have already discussed this to you, that where is the time and the cost is actually consumed in a solar project. It is making the materials available, which takes 70% installation time, which are normally maybe 15 to 20% time, and the 5 or 10% goes only actually in a commissioning and handing over. And then the similar way is actually the cost or the percentage may vary from a project to project, the size of the project, locations of the projects, and various other aspects. So this this has been accumulated, or this has been worked it out with the various research which has been done online with the various discussions, experience. 65 to 70% almost of your project cost, time, and energy is actually spent in making the materials available to the site. Choice of selections, people, companies, discussions, negotiations, orders, getting material, making the payment, different gateways for the payments, all this process and up to the site. So once it reaches to the site, the guys, they just work on it and ensure that in a 1 month time or maybe 15 days, 15 days a sort of 1 megawatt can be installed. When we also apart from the time and the cost, when we are also talking about the managing the supply chain of the entire solar project, and this makes really viable for a project when you wanted to maximize, instead of doing 2 projects or 3 projects in a year, or 4 projects in a year with the same resources, can there be 8 projects or 10 projects. So the understanding is like 20 to 30% time reduction is actually possible in a reduction in a project turnaround time. So 60, if you are taking it any project going in a 6 weeks, or 6 months, it can be straightway reduced by the 30%. You can go ahead, you can actually take it up very clearly. In terms of the cost savings, when you go with this type of approach on a solar simplified, which we are discussing, around 2 to 5% on the overall cost of the project can be actually reduced. With this is a quantifiable. There are a lot of other advantages and features which we can put a cost to it, but we have not put it while calculating this 2 to 5% because they can be subjective. Wastages across the supply chain is a very important aspect. I think this is this we need to look at it, and there are various types of wastages. Suppose the MOQ is for a 2 kilometers of a cable, okay, and your requirement is only say 1,500 kilometer or say 1,500 meters, less than that. But you need to procure anything higher, it is a MOQ, and this is how it results into a wastage. Now, panel, the pallet size, container size, all this. So wastages in terms of the MOQs. What is not create the wastages in terms of a time which is required to be, if the material was supposed to reach on so and so date, instead of that it is reaching on some other date. This is again is a cost which is so basically the different types of wastages actually results back into the increasing of the cost, and most of the time you're not even aware whether the cost has been actually increased, because these are very fine elements. When we do a very detailed project engineering or a project management, at that stage you will know that if how much is the time lag or how much is the time blocking which has resulted into these parts. So whatever is not creating value, in my opinion, is actually a waste, and this is something which we need to remove. Better supply chain can also result in increasing the trust in the companies. It also results in creating a better actually resilience, especially in this time of systems and other things. And if it is not coming up at an additional cost, if it is rather coming up at a slightly lower cost, then this is something which we need to certainly look at. Now, in the Middle East, this concept can be new, but the places where the solar density is very high, especially if you talk about Europe, you talk about to some extent in China as well. In Europe, this is extremely common. They just the EPC, the installer company just goes there, give them a BOQ, say that this material, this is the list, give me the price. This material has to reach at so and so site, so and so place, and so and so date. And it is the responsibility of a third party to handle the entire process in this. Along with Sungrow, in those lines, we are providing a quick availability. Now, quick availability is a subject where we are talking it about that the stocks available in anything up to the 10 megawatt or 20 megawatt. We can provide it in a 2 or 3 weeks time. And any point of time, 2-3 megawatts can be handled without any time lapse, maybe within a week's time itself. Ease in business transactions. This is a very important aspect. We have a various ways of payments. We have a various ways of payment gateways which are available with us. The simplifying the entire process of orders and data sheets and your installation manuals. Everything is very handy, and it is of it's being handled with a lot of ease. Extended warranty support. This is something very interesting, and it is exclusively at this point of time with Sungrow and with the Power and Sun together. So we have come up with an opportunity where with the selected projects, the life, the warranty, instead of 5 years, it's been extended to the 6 years without any additional cost. Now there is, for the residential side or for the light commercials up to the 50 kilowatt system, there is also a possibility. There is also a product which is available with a 10 years standard warranty. So we are talking it about added value. We're talking it about a situation where the standard warranty instead of 5 years is getting enhanced to the 6 years, and then we have a product which has even a 10 years of a warranty. These informations details are available. The presentation also will be shared with you. You can always reach on our website to have a better understanding further from here. Enhanced service support. There is a 2-tier service support. The service center available. Power and Sun as a company is also provides a service center, and we commit the downtime see as a least, because there are always a spare inverters which are available in the stocks. If there is a problem of power which is not getting generated and which is resulting it into a losses, so we handle this immediately, and then the analysis how and what and all those things has taken place is being handled in that way. E-enabled commissioning, I think, has already been explained. Excellent prices. We said that already, that we are one of the place where the prices can be the best for the entire system. This is the last slide for me. My email address and phone numbers are also available here. Transparency, trust, and this is how we operate. We a transparent, trust, and transcend technology and totality and tenacious approach. We work actually on a corporate, collaborate, and consolidate mode. It's not a simple buying and selling process. It's a lot of science, and there's a lot of skills and expertise is used to design and develop the business model, which helps the end user more than the company itself. So with this, I will like to say thanks. I think I've finished my presentation here. We can now go back to the question answer session. We have the list of the attendees, and there are some questions which has been already asked by them. So what we can do is we can take some live questions. There is a possibility of raising the hands, and then we can also take some questions which has been asked through the question answer session or through the chat over here. I hope Mr. Johnny and Isan, both you are comfortable with taking the live questions as well. Yes.
Yes, we can. Yes.
Yeah. So this one. Okay, this is a question from Mr. Ayaz Alvare. He says, he asked, this monitoring solution is available only with Sungrow inverters, or any external inverters also can be configured to this?
Currently, our iSolarCloud monitoring system is only available with Sungrow inverters and Sungrow devices. Yeah, not available to the third-party inverters so far.
Well, our monitoring system is available to connect with other inverter, but we prefer to use Sungrow inverter.
Good. So very nicely replied. It is possible to connect others, but it is preferred to be used as a Sungrow. Excellent. I have another question from Mr. Ronnie. He has asked, we have 3 system interconnections, but in one location. We plan to use 3COM100E. Can we monitor 3 monitoring systems in one user ID?
I'm sorry?
So his question is that in one location, they have 3 systems interconnected to each other. Do they need to buy the 3COM100E or 1COM100E? I mean, how this should be the configuration? Or they can have one user ID, and in one user ID all can be connected.
As for this situation, I think one ID is enough. One ID and one for one COM100 box. Because these 3 inverters can be connected to one COM100 box. So you just use one ID is enough.
Okay. So one is possible, and if you want to monitor the 3 different solutions, though they are in the one location, it can be 3 different houses or 3 different units. If you want to use it 3, you can also use it 3. But in one ID, you can also he can monitor the 3 systems, right?
Right.
Yeah. Mr. Ronnie again have asked, is iCloud free of charge?
Yes, for the residential and commercial industry solar plant, because the size of the power plant is also under let's say 1 megawatt 1 megawatt. So as for this case, the iSolarCloud monitoring system is totally free. You don't have to pay any money. Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Ronnie, just to add to the suggestion what Mr. Johnny has given, we also have a very interesting solution along with the Sungrow, where you can not only one system, you can monitor as many systems as possible. There are some terms and conditions. We can discuss that. I have taken a note of your name. We can discuss it over an email and then further fine tune it. I'll take a question from Mr. Mr. Sachin More. He asked, how does ESS work if grid tie and ESS can be together?
As for ESS system, we have another monitoring system. We have to use an energy management system to control the energy flow direction. So, but we can also use iSolarCloud system to monitoring the data or the information of the ESS system. It's available to the ESS system. Actually, we already have many applications for the hybrid inverters and batteries and so on.
Good. I will take another question from Mr. Mahmoud Al-Shaheen. He is writing it from Iraq. He says that regarding the specification, what is your opinion about after-sales service will affect on customer trust? So his question is related to the services. how the service is possible. This is possible, sir. Service support is available at Dubai. How to connect and how to handle it, we can discuss it offline, through the mail, through the exchange of mails. I will take question from Mr. Iris. Can you share the presentation? Yes, we can share the presentation. It will be available on our website. You can download it from there. There is also an audio which is available. If you want to hear the audio, you can also hear the audio as well. I'll take this question from Mr. Nabil now, and Nabil Hakim. He is talking about whom to connect. We have already given the coordinates to connect. You are welcome to connect us at any time. Let's take a couple of questions which are live questions. So I may request people to raise their hands in their screen, which will we can open up your mic, and then you can ask the questions. Mr. Nabil Hakim has raised his hand, so I think instead of having him, we can have him live and we can hear from him. Yes, Mr. Nabil, raise your question now. Hello. Hello.
Good morning.
Hello.
Hi.
Good morning.
We are waiting for you to speak.
About what? Excuse me. I didn't. I lost the connection. What was your question?
No, your question is, you have asked the question. You have actually raised your hand while
Yes.
in a question session. So you can ask a live question. We all are hearing you. You can ask the question now to. Yes.
Yeah, I asked what would be the contact of Sungrow in Middle East and international. I sent a question. I don't know if you receive it.
Yeah, we received your question, and then your hand was also there. The contact addresses are given.
Sorry about.
Yeah, we will send you a mail, and we will inform all the contacts to you.
Very good.
Of Power and Sun, as well as thing of Sungrow, and you can reach.
And I have sent you an email. If you can have a conference call later when you finish.
Definitely, we can do it as well, with you.
Thank you.
Can note down. You can note down my email and phone address, which is now appearing on your screen.
Yeah, I already wrote them.
Okay. There is another question which I will take now from Mr. Nasser Al Jabri. This question is, does the monitoring support FTP and API if we need to upload the data to other server?
Yes, it's totally supports the API and FTP. Once the third party device supports the FTP prototype, you can connect the third party device to our system and monitoring the data's informations and setting the parameters. That's no question for that.
Okay. So there is a question from Mr. Sitaraman. Can we connect Modbus TCP servers on a COM100?
Sorry, can you repeat?
If we use several, I think I have. Okay. Can we connect Modbus TCP server on COM100? Are you able to have me here?
Yes, but we cannot follow the you mentioned. So what is the name of the device?
Connect Modbus TCP servers on a COM100.
You mean the
Third-party device or something else? The biggest number of connection is 30. You can't pass this number.
So the maximum devices to the COM100E is 30 numbers. So if larger than 30, we recommend another COM100E. So that means you need purchase 2 pieces of 100E.
Okay, excellent. Another question from Yoga Begus. If we use several COM100 in one plant due to the number of inverters more than 30, could it be shown as one site?
Like Ethan just said, you need more than one COM100 smart box, and yes, we can connect all the inverters through the several COM100 box to the iSolarCloud and monitoring them together. Yes.
Okay, so could you please send some mails? That is fine. We have accepted. We will be sending up the mails. Mohammad Al Shaheen has asked a lot of questions, but we have already taken him. So let us take another question from Yoga Beggars. How long the data will be stored? How long you can store the data?
The data can be stored. It depends on the situation. For example, the yield, the fault information can be not for time. It's the items. It can maximum support storage for about 300 items.
Okay,
Fine.
we need
So
to check it.
You can check it and come
This
back.
is a good question. Yes.
Yes. So excellent question. Good.
Yes.
We have taken a note and we can come back to you.
Yes. We will reply you directly, and please answer this audience. It's a very good question. Sorry for that.
Does the monitoring system work with other systems? I think we have covered up almost all the questions, and then there is also the time is over because we in the event of having hundreds of webinar, when we started conducting a webinar sometime in the middle of April, we were I myself was receiving only 1 or 2 invitations for the webinar, but over a period of 1.5 months, there are I'm sure each one of you must have been receiving at least 3 or 4 webinars per day. And sometimes, I have at least 2 webinars in the so I thank you, each one of you, for sharing time, patiently listening and having this. This is the best thing which we can do it in this difficult time, is to share the knowledge, and to share the knowledge at a free of cost, so that we make this world better and greener. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot for your time. Thanks for the Sungrow. Thanks for the team which has made this webinar happen. Thank you. And
thank you, Mr. Verma. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah. It's available on our website to download the presentation. This is also available as an audio to hear the comments on it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.